All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of the Hostaway webinars. We're going to be hosting a pretty special session here today. My name is Marcus. I'm CEO and co-founder here. Then we have Josh. I'm currently in Tamarindo, actually, Playa Langosta in Costa Rica. Then we got Josh Lowe, our Chief Customer Officer, who's in San Antonio, Texas. And then we got our Global Strategy Director, Ajaz, who's been in sales for many years. He's one of our first employees here, 7 years. That's who we are. So topic of today is a buyer's guide to short-term rentals software. Now, you may think we're a bit biased here since we represent a software company called Hostaway, but we're going to try to keep it as objective as possible. We have found throughout our marketing and sales efforts, a lot of people who are not happy with their PMS or they're wondering whether they even should get a PMS. And we decided to put together a webinar to present the most commonly asked questions. Because when you go out and buy something, or you look into buying something like a car, you might be asking some questions that are relevant to you, but only later did you find out that there's other questions that were way more relevant that everyone else is asking. And we're going to try to give you the ammunition here on the questions you should be asking yourself and your vendor before making a decision. But first, a brief introduction to Hostaway. We're the leading all-in-one short-term rental software for property managers. These locations that you see here, that's not where we have customers. We have customers in almost every country, although I haven't seen any from North Korea. But other than that, almost every country. And this is where we have our staff. As you see, the East Coast and Europe, those are the biggest hubs. We're also preferred plus partners of Airbnb, elite partners of vrbo, and premier partners of bookingcom. And everything that we offer in our software is built in-house. This is what we do. We're not a company that's producing software on the side and then selling it, and actually our main business is something else. No, our only business is producing vacation rental software. All right. So first of all, when we talk about vacation rental software, the terminology has changed over the years. So a lot of times you might have heard about a channel manager or a PMS. These days, they're mostly the same thing. They used to be two separate softwares, two separate companies. But I'm going to try to define what a PMS here is, or property management system. So just in case anyone talks about a channel manager, vacation rental software, reservation management software, booking software, or property management system, it's all the same thing. It's a central hub for property managers to streamline every part of your business. When I'm trying to explain to outsiders who are not used to the industry, I say that being a vacation rental property manager, whether you manage thousands of properties or even just one that's your own, you still have to do the basics that every single business have to do. You have to do marketing, you have to do sales, you have to do support, you have to do operations. You need to deliver what you're selling, logistics. And you need to do taxes, and you need to know your numbers, know if you're making money or losing money. And this is exactly what a PMS is for. Then I'll get into a couple of questions. This is an interesting slide. These are the type of questions that when we talk to people who are looking into vacation rental software, we end up asking these questions from the people we talk to. And sometimes they're uncomfortable. So before you even start looking into choosing a software vendor, I would recommend for your business to just ask yourself these questions. They're not fun questions. Sometimes when things are going well, they're easy to answer, but when things are not going well, they're hard to answer. But knowing the size and your current business model today and how you realistically expect it to evolve in the next few years will substantially help you define who you are in your industry landscape. Most property managers are very local. You might be in a small beach town, you might be in a ski center, and there's only a few competitors. You need to know who you are and how you stand out from the crowd. And asking this question, what's my business today? What's it going to be like in the future? That's a very good start to that. Then what we see, because the vacation rental software, they tackle so many different challenges. There's many problems that property managers have where a software can help. It's very important not to get caught up in too many sales pitches. Sorry, we're here giving a sales pitch, and I'm saying you shouldn't listen to a sales pitch. But basically, quite often people make the decision to solve one or two specific problems. Now, when they go to someone and say, I have these problems, quite often what ends up happening is salespeople will say, oh, but there's other problems you can solve too. And then at some point in the process, if the salespeople are really good, you will forget what are those original problems that made you look for a solution in the first place. So writing those down and remember to keep focus on them will really help you not only choose the right solution to to fix those issues that you're trying to fix, but also stay within the budget. And then something else that a lot of people don't think about is who are the primary users of their software. Many people say, oh, it's just going to be me. But then when you start probing, you realize, no, wait, there's a lot of guests out there who want to make direct bookings. There's a lot of people who are using Google Maps to find their vacation rentals, the cleaners. It would be great if Hostaway could manage that. And same thing for the owners. Why don't we produce the owner statements within Hostaway? These are some of the questions that you should be asking yourself about the business, but keep in mind the answers before you go looking for any software out there. Now I'm going to hand over to Ajaz. And just a reminder, please use the QA functionality here on Zoom. We'll try to answer as many questions as we can at the end.
Thanks, Marcus. I appreciate that. Unlike Marcus, I am not sitting in Costa Rica. I'm in Toronto, Canada, and I do have a British accent. That's because I was born and raised there. But it's kind of one of those important questions to ask also when you're searching for a property manager is, where are you located? Because one thing that I find is that when you are signing up for a property management system channel manager, it's important to ensure they have a global presence. It's important that you can get in touch with them whenever you need them. And obviously Josh, that's Josh's domain, and he'll speak more to that. But I'm here to kind of help you understand the differences between needs and wants, what makes a good property manager, and we'll go through some of these slides. I was just giving a bit of a talk in Greece recently, and when I was up on the podium there, I had asked people a couple of questions. And one of the first questions I asked is, show of hands who are property managers here in some respect. And everyone put their hands up. The second question I asked is, how many people here are looking to increase revenues? And everyone put their hands up. And I also asked them is, how many people here are spending way too much time managing their business through a software that versus spending their time on growing their business? And everyone put their hands up twice. So it was two hands. And we had a few giggles from that, because being in the industry for a while now, I realize and recognize that not all products and not all channel managers are built the same. And you want to choose a channel manager with more of what is needed, what is required for your organization, but also what's going to help you increase revenues, what's going to help you optimize those revenues and your nightly rates, and what's going to optimize and increase your occupancy rates. Because at the end of the day, that is the most important part of why you're in the business and why you're growing it. So there's a few things that need to take into consideration when looking at that. And that's almost like we've built a checklist for you. And that is, the channel management component, and to ensure that you have a really solid connection. And again, we're going to speak more about what a channel manager is, and in a sense that how it's connected to the OTAs. How is it connected to Airbnb, booking.com, Expedia, HomeAway, vrbo, Marriott, and Google? What is the speed of that connection, and how much can you rely on that? The ability to have multi-calendars is very important, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to see and have a visual of all your bookings. And further to that, you want to be able to actually see if you have parent-child relationships and see the availability on those other of your other units, etc. A true unified inbox is important. And again, a lot of these terms you've heard, the reason I'm highlighting them is because a true unified inbox doesn't mean you get all your messages from Airbnb and now you have a unified inbox, but you're not getting messages from, say, vrbo. You're not getting messages from a different channel. A unified inbox is where you have all your messages coming in to the right inbox, the one inbox where you can distribute and respond to as needed. Analytics, reporting, task management for cleaners, smart locks to ensure that everything is seamless across the board. A booking engine, guest portals, automation are just few of the components. But you really have to understand and really ask yourself what is needed. And sometimes a lot of bells and whistles doesn't mean a better solution. It means more work that you have to do. So look at that when you are searching and evaluating a channel manager / PMS system. Next slide. So as we go through this, one thing that I didn't highlight on that wants and needs is user friendliness. We're in the days of technology where technology is moving at a rapid pace, I could leave for the office in the morning, come back in the afternoon, and my kids are saying, hey, we have a new product, we have a new software that we're using. And I swear, I thought we had something the night before, and now it's evolved, it's changed, it's updated. But one thing that hasn't changed is the ability for individuals to ingest this information and the speed at which they need to ingest it. So a system that is user-friendly, that is easy to understand, that is easy to implement is extremely important. Way too many times over the last 7-8 years, I hear the same thing from a lot of property managers, a lot of property companies. They say our product is clunky. Our product or the software solution that we're using, it's not user-friendly. My cleaners can't use it. My staff can't use it. And I'm spending way too much time trying to understand the platform. It shouldn't be difficult. It should be as easy as going to, say, Airbnb, putting in your dates, finding the location that you want to stay at, and checking out. That's how a software should be. It should be within a few clicks. And that's one thing that you'll find that will really help you focus on growing your business. Moving forward, another key aspect is reservation management, rather. So how are you viewing these reservations that are coming in? How do you ensure that the reservations are coming in at a timely fashion? How do you ensure that you're not getting double bookings? And how do you ensure that it's accurate and real time? Well, one of the huge mandates of Hostaway, and it should be of others, is that the API connections that we've established with the likes of the channels of the OTAs is the best in the industry, and it should be when securing a PMS system, because it's going to eliminate these issues. If you're missing bookings, if you're getting your communication late in your channel manager, in your property management system, and you go to your email inbox and you find out that this message came in a day ago, that's not going to help your business. In fact, you have to ensure that all your reservations are coming in at a timely fashion and they're coming in accurately, so you can actually act upon it and kick in automations to ensure that you are optimizing that booking. Another aspect is automations. At the end of the day, you purchased and implemented a software to reduce the time and effort that you're spending on a daily basis running your short-term management company. And you're also doing it to provide a better service for your guests. I use the analogy and the example that once someone has booked your place and they come to your apartment, your villa, your room, they're going to have the best experience because you've given them the best amenities. The place is clean. There's groceries in the fridge, or maybe coffee available for them. The beds are made. There's towels, everything they could possibly think of to make a great stay. Well, that experience actually starts before they reach your location. And the way you do that, especially if you're a property manager, is to ensure that, one, they have the reviews. One of the reviews is how they make the decision. So are you optimizing your reviews? Are you having those published out? Are you managing those reviews through an automated system like Hostaway, for example? Are you ensuring that they're receiving the invoices seamlessly and an easy way for them to pay or receive the actual bills? Tasks, are the tasks are being triggered by the reservation to ensure that your cleaners can go in at a timely fashion to actually clean the place before or after, so that the stay is great? And automations also include the responses that they're getting from you on a timely fashion, and the emails and the communication through WhatsApp or SMS that is inherently should be built in to your unified inbox. So again, you can give them the best possible service before they even arrive at your place. And that way, you are basically ensuring they have a full closed loop of that experience. So automations is a big part of it, and you want to make sure that you have those implemented in a solution. Direct bookings, and direct bookings have, I did this bit of a example again, experiment at the event, and I said, how many people here have a direct booking website? And I think about 20% of people put their hand up. And I said, wow, that's interesting. I was just in the cabs in Greece, and every time I got out of a cab, someone gave me their card and they said, call me. Call me. Did you enjoy the service? I said, yes. And they said, call me directly and I'll be there for you. And Saber gave me a great example. He said, a booking engine, your booking engine is your calling card. If you don't have a great booking engine, then how do people know where to find you again? How do they interact with you directly? How do you keep more of that revenue dollars in your pocket? How do you create that great experience for people? And further to that, how do you effectively build incremental revenue from your business? A great example I see on one of the websites that use our direct booking engine is that people actually have booked at this one customer's place through Airbnb, and they wanted to book again and again. And this time they came to the direct booking engine. But on the direct booking engine, they had the availability. They also offered romance packages. They also offer, sticks and a fire pit to make the experience even better. And they've asked for, obviously, a certain cost to that. And it is phenomenal how many people click on that and actually add that to their cart, allowing them to build incremental revenue. And that incremental revenue is 100% profit. And they don't have to pay commissions to anyone for that, which is brilliant. So if you do not have a beautiful, intuitive, direct booking engine currently, then you need to get that. And you need to ensure that the user interface of that is not a culture shock, in the sense that it has to replicate the user experience of the OTAs so that people feel very comfortable and they're not leaving your site after a few clicks saying, I don't get this, let me move on. So we're seeing huge success in that, but take a look at that and give yourself that flexibility. And I'll end with this, is mobile accessibility. And I always tell people we're a mobile first world. Everything is done on mobile. Everything from listening to music, to taking pictures, to making notes, to booking your next trip, everything is mobile. So you have to ensure that when you are looking at a PMS, is it a native iOS or Android device app? Not device agnostic where you pinch and zoom and try to figure out what's happening. It's very frustrating. But is it a native experience? Can I swift through? Can I flick through what I need to do on a day-to-day basis? Can I change prices? Can I respond to customers, or my guests rather? Can I change dates? Can I do 80% of what I do on a day-to-day level stuck at my desktop? Can I do it on the go? And huge accolades for this, because being a mobile first organization and being mobile accessible is going to differentiate you from everyone else. Because while people are waiting to get back to their office to respond to people or make changes to the business, you'll be able to do it on the fly, be it if you're on a beach somewhere, taking a vacation with your family, or if you're on the go, going to different locations. And I know everyone is extremely busy, and this is extremely important and a big part of what the industry is needed. Thank you. And I think we'll move on to move on to Josh.
Great. Thanks, AJ. Yeah, good points. I mean, direct booking for me is probably the biggest one, right? It's the kind of just a no-brainer when it comes down to if you are in the space and you don't have a direct booking website, it's kind of like, why not? You know, there's really no good reason at this point. So very important to look into that. So yeah, what I wanted to start with is, you know, over the last couple of years, I've had the pleasure of meeting with thousands and thousands of property managers and hosts around the world. And one thing that I found that was very common is how you treat your guests is exactly how we treat our customers, or how in the industry, if you're looking for property management software, the guest experience and the customer experience are hand in hand, right? So the same thing goes for good property managers versus bad property managers. You're looking at great customer experience or great guest experience versus bad guest experience. Same thing with property management software companies. Either you have a really great customer experience or you have a bad customer experience. And a lot of the same touch points that go into the guest experience, same thing that goes on with us here in the software space. So when you're looking for property management software out there, or really any software, you can kind of go with any software. Make sure you're doing, you're looking into how do they treat their customers, right? Because the exact same thing is in your guest experience. Some property managers, they'll go in there and they'll be able to get real quick money, right? But they're not going to get that return customer, and they're not going to be able to gather the reviews. Same thing as what in your industry is software. So one of the most important things you consider when you're moving over to a property management software, or you're looking to purchase software for the first time, is that customer experience. So the customer support, right? There's lots of features that are interchangeable when it comes down to property management software. You know, there's over the years they've really been able to kind of get there one way or the other. Some are more intuitive than the others, but what you want to look down at the end of the day is, are you going to be able to join a company, and who's going to have your back after that, right? So lots of features and functions when it comes down to property management software. Who's going to be there when you have a question? Because you are going to have a question. It's just a matter of how quick are they going to get to you, right? So one of the things you can ask when you go to these companies, and you can come to us and ask the same thing, right? Do you have a dedicated customer success manager? I can tell you right now, most companies in this space do not even have the customer success position. In fact, a lot of them don't even have anybody that's in customer success on their executive level teams. So it's one thing to go into those calls when you're looking at these softwares and asking, hey, how much do you care about the customers? And get them to tell you exactly what that means. You can go look on our website as part of our values that our customer success is our success. We have it there. We live by that. So just a little shameless plug there for us. So another one is, what is your customer satisfaction? When you go to these companies and you're asking about it, ask them what their customer satisfaction is. We invest heavily in our customer success teams here at Hostaway, and we measure customer satisfaction. So there's a lot of things we can do on a day-to-day basis here at Hostaway that we think we're doing right? We're like, oh, we're going to do this right because that's what we're supposed to do. And unless you guys, as a customer, are telling us we're doing it right, it doesn't make any difference what we say. So we measure that. We get you to tell us if we're doing a good job when it comes to customer experience. So ask about that. That's called customer satisfaction surveys. Everybody in the industry has them. Ask them what their rating is when you're going there. I can tell you ours, last year, we averaged a 98% here at Hostaway year over year. Yeah, is there someone there that's going to be there 24/7 that it can help me, right? It's one thing to pick up the phone and be able to call someone, during the busy times. But what happens whenever you guys get called late at night and you can't get into your software, or something's not syncing right? Is there somebody going to be there to help you? And then how long is it going to take to get my listings online during onboarding, right? So you're going to have to onboard all of this software. There's some softwares out there that are pretty inexpensive to get into, that are not, they are what they are, right? That you're not going to have an onboarding, but you're going to have some help. So when your property is going to be online, right? So you go and you pay this bill, and you're on the call with someone. How long is it going to take before you can actually start using the software? I give you an example here at Hostaway. You start using the software on the first call. So as soon as you load up on that kickoff call, that first call that you have with our onboarding team, you're live in Hostaway. You're ready to rock and roll. And on the next slide here, I want to make sure everybody is going out and doing their due diligence, right? So I always advise potential customers to not take our word for it. And I know Ajaz can tell me to say this too. We always say, look, you don't have to take our word for it. Go out and look what other people are saying out there on the internet, right? Just go Google Hostaway reviews, right? There's sites like G2, Capterra, Trustpilot. They're 100% validated reviews from real people, right? And this is important. You guys are in the vacation rental industry. You understand how important reviews are on your properties, on your listings. Well, the same is for the software that you use, right? So go out and look and see what are people saying. And I'm not going to tell you, what people are saying about us. I'm going to tell you to go out and look for it right now. And I'm confident in saying that's going to continue that way, because for a long time, if you go look at the reviews, the reason why we've been successful here at Hostaway is we invest into our customer experience, because we want them to go out and tell the good word, just like you guys want your guests to go out and tell the good word of staying at your property. So go check it out. No matter who you go with, just make sure that you're prepared, and you understand what you're getting into, because this is not a one-time thing, right? It's a pain to go up and try to move from different softwares and do things like that. Go in and do as much as you can up front, so that you don't have to change later on down the road. And then on the next slide here, I want to say finally, make sure you're going with someone that has the highest level of connections to the OTA. So if you see the Triple Crown here, this is a name we came up here at Hostaway. It basically means we have the highest level of partnerships with all the top 3 major OTAs. So booking.com, Airbnb, and vrbo, right? And so what does that mean? And why is that important, right? So whenever you're connecting up to an OTA, which is online travel agency or channel, whatever you want to call it, right? Like Airbnb, Booking, or vrbo, you want to make sure you're going with someone that has permission, first of all, to connect to these channels, right? You don't want to be sitting there and all of a sudden everything's turned off, or it doesn't sync properly, or maybe they come back and they say, hey, you've got terms, you can't do this, so we're going to shut you off. Next thing you know, your business is, dead in the water. Remember that when you're making the decision to go with a property management software, this is a business critical piece of software. Your business will run out of this software from now on. If it is down, if you can't get help on anything, then you're dead in the water until you disconnect from this software. So make sure you're very diligent about what is going on here. And that's why we hit on this Triple Crown, because we have the top partnerships with all of our channels. And we talk with these guys and gals over at these channels on a week by week, month by month, sometimes hour by hour basis. We're very, very good in with these people, because they like our business and we like their business too. We're very, we go hand in hand. So it's good to have that connection. So that's all I'll say here on this side. I'm very passionate about the guest and the customer experience. So make sure you find out what you're getting into before you pull the trigger on any sort of software and property management in general. But yeah, Ajaz, take us away, bud.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm so glad you ended with that slide, Josh, because when I was giving a couple of talks, I had people like Expedia, vrbo, booking.com, Airbnb come up to me and said, thank you for highlighting the importance of a great preferred plus elite premium partnership, because that is what's going to differentiate property managers. That's going to ensure that they're able to grow their business. And a lot of people don't realize that when someone says, yes, we're connected to all of them, it could be through third parties. It could be through an unofficial kind of, stealing the cable kind of connection, right? And that jeopardizes your business, right? At the end of the day, it might be a Band-Aid, but it jeopardizes your business and a lot of bad things. And I've heard a lot of horror stories that have come out to it. So definitely keep that in consideration. I'm really glad that Josh, you brought that up. So what does it mean? What does it result in? Everything that we've shared with you so far, what makes good a good property management software, PMS, channel manager, that Marcus mentioned, that they are one. It should be seen as one. And Josh mentioning customer service and how important your questions are, and how do we serve those individuals. And then the API connections. Why are they so important? Why is it important to have a Triple Crown status? It comes down to the results. And the results are that when we look at the aggregate of our top customers, and we're always constantly understanding what makes them great, is that a lot of people said, look, this has shaved 60 minutes of time per reservation, and time is something that we quantify and we qualify as important for our organization, right? And so if you could do that with a software tool, a PMS channel management tool, then that equates to a ton of ROI. And when you kind of quantify that as far as money is concerned, or how much time is are you worth, it definitely gives you a huge benefit. Growth as far as headcount is concerned. You want to do more, you hire more people. You want more output, you hire more people. But what if you could choose a software tool, a PMS channel management tool, and you didn't have to. You didn't have to hire more people. You can just make people more productive. This is not about making people redundant. It's about taking people's skills and put them in areas where they can help grow the business. And we've heard from our customers that they've had 100% growth without adding a single dollar of headcount. That's brilliant. That's brilliant in my mind. Revenue growth. And this is probably one of the most exciting pieces of choosing a software. And I think I started with this, is that how many people in the room want to increase their revenues? How many people in this room want to increase their occupancy rates and visibility? And when we have customers who tell us, and as an aggregate, they have increased revenues by 400%, that's music to our ears, because now we're providing a service. Not only does it help with your day-to-day, but it's helping you grow your business. And therefore, that's why our retention is so high, is because we are offering a service that is not only a tangible item where you're using on day-to-day basis, but it's helping you with your lifestyle and your growth. And we've also seen a 3 to 4x. Are you growing? Are you looking to grow, but is your growth slowed? Sometimes it takes looking at what you have implemented as your back end and how you're running your business and the software you have that could be preventing you from using the system. Obviously, I'm not going to name names, but I was just on a call with a prospect who said, "Hey, Ajaz, I'm using 3 systems to run my 3 PMSs or channel managers, what you want to call them, to run my business. And I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, I'm looking for this." And I said, "I think I know your problem." And he said, "What is it?" I go, "Well, why are you using 3 different systems that should be doing the same thing? Let's try to actually look at what you currently have to make sure you have the right solution in place, especially where you are as a company, because you've grown." And so it's really important. And please do check out our case studies. We have it in our deck here, and you can download that and actually view that. And moving forward, you can definitely download our buyer's guide today. You can click in the chat there. You can download it. We put a lot of information together for you, a lot of unbiased information that will help you make some key decisions. And we're always looking for feedback in that regards. But we just felt it was our duty to do this and share this so you can make the best possible choices. And then I think that we're getting close to here. So if you are looking for more information about Hostaway, as soon as we're here and we're all talking about it, you can just go to our website. You can click on request a demo. You can make reference to the webinar. It's great for us to understand and track what you've seen and the context that you've had. And you can request to speak to anyone, and then we'll get on the call. And that's one thing that we do really well, is that when you reach out to us, we get back to you right away, and we'll be able to walk you through a demo. And if you want to make it very specific, you have specific questions, then we'll cut to the chase and we'll answer those questions for you, but allow us to do this for you. And I guess we're at the point where we have some time for questions. So we'd love to answer them for you if we can open this up.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much, AJ and Josh. We have answered a couple of questions already, but please keep them coming. We'll try to read them out because I think they highlight very very good problems. So here's Brandy just asking, how do cleaners receive communication? Do they need a Hostaway subscription? First of all, we don't charge anything for users. So you can, a lot of softwares, they charge per user. So as you add more people, you need to pay more. We have unlimited. You can have 1 property, and I swear you can put 100 people there. You'll pay the same thing. Now, how do the cleaners receive the communication? There's basically 2 ways. They can either receive a notification on the mobile app, which is once again free or included in the price, or they can just log in themselves and see what's going on. But great question. Then Hadi is asking about the integration with Google Travel. How Hostaway as a Google partner can assure that the direct booking website can show on the top list to make sure that the revenue increase? Well, that's very, very easy. So first of all, Google Travel, they want to show the results that people want to see. So Google Travel is very different from companies like Airbnb, vrbo, and booking.com. Airbnb and vrbo and booking.com, don't take my word for it. Listen to their earnings calls. They are companies that are publicly traded on the stock market, and their job is to make money. Every decision they make is to make money. Google is also publicly traded, but if you listen to their earnings calls, they are making zero money on Google Travel. The reason they have a product called Google Travel is that they want, in the consumer's mind, to be the place to go for information, which is why they are now offering vacation rentals. So when people are searching for vacation rentals, they want to make sure that Google remains an option. But unlike all the other options, they don't make any money on it. Now, they do want to make sure that they show the right options and the ones that consumers will trust Google in the future as well. So what's really important is that you get a good click-through rate that can be improved based on your brand. It can be improved based on description, maybe the prices that people are filtering by. And then that you get bookings. It's that simple. Convert your lookers into bookers, and you'll get they'll see that it's a popular choice. So there's really no magic to it when it comes to Google. But excellent question, and that's a good question as well. To when you're looking for software, ask how does it work? Are you a partner of Google Travel? Because that should be a requirement. This is really important to increase your direct bookings. All right. How about Josh or AJ? Do you want to take a question there?
Turn your lookers into bookers. Is that what it was? I like that.
Yes.
I like that. I saw Ajaz. I was like, man, I'm gonna add that to my back pocket there. Lookers into bookers. Yeah. So Tim wants to know, does Hostaway have the ability to do the daily price changing? Yes. Is that daily price changing? Yeah. I mean, you can change your pricing at any time. And the other one here, we have an anonymous attendee that I was looking at here. Are the channel management features part of the fee? Are there dedicated account reps for each PM? So that's the one I reached for. Yes, anonymous attendee. The channel managers features are part of the fee. There's no extra charge for utilizing any of the channels that we mentioned here. Are there dedicated account reps for each PM? Yes, that is a differentiator between Hostaway. That's why I put it in my presentation. Ask them about you when you're buying software. Ask them if you get a dedicated account manager or dedicated customer success manager. We invest heavily into the customer experience here, as I mentioned earlier. Customer success is the largest department we have here at Hostaway, and you do get a dedicated resource here.
Excellent. And I'll just jump in, maybe add a couple of questions here. I see them coming in. First and foremost, if we don't get to all the questions today, we'll definitely do our best to respond via email. Also, I changed my name with my email address. Feel free to email me directly. I will do my best to either arbitrage your question to the right individual, put it in front of one of our sales specialists, or answer them myself if need be. But let's talk about a couple of questions here. Daniel, can we see a demo of the owner portal, online videos for this? So if you absolutely, you can see a demo of the owner portal. If you would like to, again, reach out to myself or reach out to our Hostaway request a demo, you can be very specific and you can ask for that. I saw a question from Mona. What do you track? What do you offer rather to track income and expenses and analytics? I love this question because the fact is that our financial reporting, call it a module, but it's not really a module because it's built inherently into the system, is extremely robust. The bottom line is that all of your revenues, your occupancies, your expenses, your commissions, everything is going to come in real time into the system. So now it's just your opportunity to disseminate this information how you would like to view it. So we have great dashboards for that. You can build out reports. It's all drag and drop. So there's no coding involved. Well, we like to call it click not code technology, where you can drag and drop, turn things on and off. And further to that, in our financials settings, you can build out unlimited custom formulas in a very simple way to actually gain the values that you're looking for, which shave off tens and tens of hours of people consolidating those reports. And like I mentioned before, CFOs, fractional CFOs, accountants, bookkeepers love the fact that the information is so accurate and robust, and it shaves off tons of time for them to consolidate those books and download those CSVs or Excels into the accounting software, allowing them to really give time back and reduce that time that they spend on really ensuring that all the data is accurate. All right. I go ahead, Marcus. I think you
Yeah,
want to jump in.
I could take a few. So really good questions, by the way. Keep it coming. Some are quite challenging here as well. So Amy's asking, once you're on the PMS, are you automatically connected to Marriott? So no, you are in fact going to be in charge of where you want to distribute your properties. And we can help you set you up, but keep in mind that some of these, they're called OTAs or distribution platforms, they have limitations. So Marriott typically requires very high-end properties because that's the only thing they have on their platform. They also require a certain minimum number of properties. So even if we wanted to automatically put you on various websites, we can't, because they determine what's there. But really good question. Then there's a question from anonymous attendee. Are all OTAs integrations part of the basic plan? Or like Track, do you hold the property manager hostage, forcing them to sign up for their distribution services? I don't know about holding people hostage. We certainly don't do that. But what I can say is that, first of all, we don't have a basic and advanced plan. All the functionality is available to everyone. That also, I wanted to comment on the owner's portal there. It looks different for every owner. You as the property manager, you have the power to choose exactly what functionality you want the owner to see. Some choose that the owners can see only the monthly statements. Others want them to be able to book their own owner stays, book in their friends, see the calendar. Some of them want to be more transparent and even show the communication to the guests to show that they're doing a good job. Regardless, you can choose whatever you want the owners to see. And once again, we don't have a basic plan or an advanced plan. We have the same plan for everyone. Now, we do not hold anyone hostage. This is something that's very important and that we should have maybe included in the slides. You are free. First of all, you will own your data. Actually, you will own all your accounts, your Airbnb account. If you set up an account on pretty much anywhere, you will own that. Also, all the data that you collect within our system, you can export it at any time, and it's your data. That's very important to keep in mind, because when you sign up for a software that has complete control of your business, it's a good point to ask, okay, but do I actually own my business, or do you own my business once they sign up? So I'm not sure what Track is doing there, but thanks for asking the question. And yeah, Daniel, so the demo of the owner portal will look different depending on how everyone decides to configure it, but it's essentially the same interface as you see yourself, except you get to choose which parts are there. How many customer success reps are on staff? Which time zone? I like the time zone question here, because we actually have customer success reps exactly where the customers are. So if you're on the East Coast, we have people on the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, Southern Europe, Northern Europe. If you're in Spain, we got people there. If you're in Australia, we got people there. It's that simple. How many, Josh, do we want to give out a number? I guess it's available on LinkedIn.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's an important question, and you should ask this when you go and talk to somebody else. Ask them how many they have on there. I can say as of right now, and this is going to change because we're always adding people. We've got over 70 people on the customer success team. So we have plenty of people to support all of our clients at any time across the world.
All right. Now here's a great question from Rachel. Besides the startup fee and a monthly fee, is there a fee? Does Hostaway charge a fee for each direct booking transaction? No, we do not charge any fees on any bookings. However, if you want to use our automated payment system and connect that to, let's say, our own Stripe account, there is a 1% fee. But if you don't want to pay it, that's fine. You can process your payments however you want without paying that fee. And once again, we do not charge commissions on any bookings whatsoever. And I think there was another question also related to, do you have to pay extra for the channel manager part? No. What you see is what you get. We got all the functionality available to all the users, with these two exceptions. So the automated payment processing. The other exception is smart locks, and the reason is very simple. When you buy a smart lock, you are not paying a monthly fee. Now you might be wondering, okay, how do these smart lock providers survive? Because the price of the lock doesn't cover, the next 20 years of maintenance that they need to maintain on their systems. It's very simple. We are paying them money. If you want someone like Hostaway to program your smart lock, we can't just do that. We need to pay them money. And that's why we have to charge you a fee in order to be able to program your smart locks. Once again, a fee you can choose. If you don't want to use smart locks or you want to program them manually, that won't cost you anything. That's usually included in the smart lock manufacturer's pricing. So Richard is asking, everyone in tech services talking about AI chat automation answering. Where does Hostaway stand on this? Richard, I'm very happy to have you here. It's an honor. And by the way, I read your article about the earnings analysis on booking.com versus Expedia and Airbnb. Excellent insight there. And I was just wondering when there was on the Alex and Annie podcast, Vered was talking about how their solution, which is competing with ours, happened to have a 98% accurate AI bot that generates a reply but doesn't quite send it. And I thought, how far behind times is that? We were the first company to come out with this. There were companies that weren't using AI in our space 5 years ago, and they included the word AI in their slogans. They all went very quiet last year when we released the first AI answering service in our software. Once again, free for everyone to use. And because we were the first one out of all the PMSs to come out with this, we have since been able to add a lot of functionality to it. For example, you can rewrite the property descriptions with just one click. And hopefully soon we'll be able for you to touch up those pictures. I'm sure you had professional photographers, but still, they might look better if you let AI give a little bit of a touch up. So thanks for asking the question, Richard here. Oh, that was a lot of talking. How about Josh or Ajaz? You take over for a while.
I'll take over for just a little bit, Marcus. All right, let's see what we got here. What CC companies are you connected with? So good question. We connect directly with Stripe, Braintree, and then authorized.net. So with authorized.net, I keep getting these anonymous attendees. Nobody wants to say their name when they talk to me. Instead, hey, anonymous attendee, if you have your own payment processor, your own merchant account with someone else, you can bring your own. You can bring your own and use authorized.net through there as well. So Braintree, Stripe, authorized.net, both their payment gateway and their payment processing, and you can also use them as a gateway for your own merchant account. Can you configure a custom domain name for custom email account for direct emails that are sent through unified inbox? So no for direct emails going through unified emails, unified inbox, but you can obviously connect a custom domain to the Hostaway portal. You'll have to bring your own email service. And let's see. Good question though. Is it necessary to set up a separate account with Airbnb, Vrbo, booking.com, Stripe, Google Travel, and then bring it all over to Hostaway? And then do you help do it with that? Best practice is not to touch anything, right? You don't want to, there's no need to go and create new accounts for any of that. More than likely, you probably will have to create a Stripe account, but if you already have one, you can just bring that over. You don't want to mess with any sort of reviews or juice you might have in the channels by creating a new account. You can just bring them over and connect them to Hostaway that way.
Sure, I can jump in here. Hadi has a question. Do you have other API partners and vendors to provide extra amenities besides your own services? What other extra services can we list to our direct booking website to increase profitability? We can definitely help you on that, but let me take a step back where you talk about additional partners and vendors. If you go to hostaway.com, go to our marketplace, you will see probably within our space, within this ecosystem, probably the largest marketplace third-party vendor integrations on that page. We've made it a point of building great partnerships with third-party tools that will help run your overall business, and a lot of them will offer certain software that will help increase amenities. I think that what other services? Well, there's a ton of services that you can add, be it as simple as offering a romance package for, with some chocolates and a bottle of wine and some rose petals, to massage services, to photography services. And we see that all through this industry. It's whatever you are able to offer your customers as additional value, be it a full fridge of goods or groceries, or it might be, an offering to babysit their dogs. The point is that you can add those to increase your revenue across the board. And maybe we can take I'm just looking at a lot of these questions have been answered here. Can we have one Hostaway account but create various direct booking pages, 2 business names for the different locations? So if I understand this correctly, and jump in, guys, if I'm misunderstanding this, but as far as booking websites are concerned, or booking pages are concerned, unlimited with Hostaway. So you can have your one Hostaway account. If your question is in reference to separate entities, then again, you can mark these by their entities. So you can group your listings and you can service those listings separately under one account. Now, the consolidation of that is going to be in one, and you can break those reports out. But ultimately, we have hundreds of customers who have multiple listings in different locations using different booking websites for booking pages, because we support that. And also they segment their listings within Hostaway by grouping them, and then also being able to report on them as well. I hope that answers your questions. Right. Josh, do we see any others that need immediate attention that we can answer?
Yeah, I've got.
Yes, sir. Marriot has a good question here. She's asking, do you have any kind of digital guidebook or guest experience? Yes, we have indeed a guest portal that is automatically generated for each booking that you have, and you can choose how to send it out. A lot of our customers use it to upsell services or use it as a part of the check-in process. So, for example, many of our clients, they require the guests, to upload ID and sign a rental agreement. That can all be done, of course, free of charge in the guest portal. You can choose additional options if you would like to pay for having the pool heated, extra pet fees, parking fees, other things can all be done in the guest portal. And of course, if you want to recommend your favorite restaurants in the area, you can do that as well. And that's all included in the price.
All right. So Dimitri said, if it would be great if there was a thorough presentation on optimizing our listings on Google, hosted by Hostaway. There's definitely generic info, but a more detailed plan would be great. I agree. And so I just posted a link into the chat for everybody. And I took this down, Dimitri. Every week here, our customer success team jumps on a call and goes over best practices in Hostaway, how to use certain features and functions, how to make money, how to save time using our platform. So this is a great idea. We'll add it to the list, and we'll definitely have it. And it'll be an open Q&A session. So we'll add that on there. If you click that link and click follow, every time we add something to this page, it'll send you an email. So go do that. Follow the link in the chat, and great idea. And then I have to take this one down here because it's anonymous. And I figured since everybody that's anonymous wants to talk to me today, I'd take it up here. If we were to migrate to Hostaway, how long is this process? Will the historical data be transferred as well? If you migrate to Hostaway, we can get you up and running. Our first call was usually within the first couple in a day or two. Historical information, it really depends on what that data is. Primarily, yes, we're able to import historical data, but if you have it from different sources, it just depends. If you come to our web page and click request demo, you can chat with somebody there. They'll be able to get more in depth of what your question and be able to guide you the right way. We'll be able to get you going fairly quickly. Like I said earlier, you'll go live within our software the first call you have, which is usually within a day or two of signing up for the Hostaway platform. There's no more anonymous right now, but somebody else can take it until somebody anonymous comes back on.
Yeah, so I was just looking at, I think Hadi had a follow-up question. I'm not sure if I answered this already, but can we mark up the price for extras, offers on top of the price provided by partners in the marketplace? Well, obviously, that's something that you want to do. You can have a conversation with the partner, but if you want to have that markup set up within Hostaway, then yes, you can build out custom fields within Hostaway. You can build out custom formulas to add the percentage to what you want to present at the end value. Because at the end of the day, you're dictating the cost of a service, and you provide that cost regardless of what your cost is, because you obviously want to make some profit there. So that can be addressed, and absolutely you can build that out. Can we have one Hostaway account but create variety of booking? Oh, I think I answered this. So two different business names. Now remember, we're not accountants here, right? So at the end of the day, you speak to your accountant when it comes to having entities and how you're ingesting revenues and where those are being placed. What we're going to do is facilitate the ability to have multiple booking engines for you to have all your listings within Hostaway, to segment those within Hostaway, and then further to that to report off that. And Jerry, I believe, has a question. Do you have a setting to send state tax off direct bookings? Do you have insurance options for visitors if they opt for coverage instead of taking deposit? I only know how vrbo works. So the answer to your question, obviously, we have to get into a deeper understanding, but at the end of the day, yes. We have our marketplace where we have our partners who offer insurance, and you can add those through the connection integration that we have, and now you can offer insurance to your customers through direct booking. So the answer to that is yes. Do you have a setting to send state tax off direct bookings? If you're talking about calculating state tax and other taxes for very specific regions, then yes, you can calculate those. Those have to be inputted to that to the formulas on our financial settings. But once it's done and set up once, it will calculate it for you, and it will produce the result for you. Obviously, you'll be sending that off to the correct authorities, but at the end of the day, you'll have the exact breakdown of that. I think we have
Oh,
go
yeah,
ahead.
Amy has a good question. Do you integrate with PayPal for payments? No, we do not, because PayPal is very consumer friendly. We'd love to be consumer friendly too, but we have a strong value here at Hostaway. Our customer success is our success. Our customers are not the consumers. Our customers are the property managers. PayPal is really great because you can send someone money and then you can later say it was a mistake or I didn't get what I paid for, and PayPal will give you the money back. Now, if you get on various Facebook and LinkedIn groups, you will find out exactly what happens to property managers. But if you don't want to spend the time researching, I can tell you what happens is people book your place, they send in the money to PayPal, they stay there, and then they get their money back, and there's nothing you can do. So if we were to recommend PayPal, we would essentially be recommending that you lose money, which is something that is not in your interest and not in our interest.
Marcus, I think we've come to the top of the hour here.
That's right. Well, thank you, everyone, and I'll see you next month. I hope this was useful. It looks like oh, Dan, are there additional fees with Hostaway with listing on Marriott? No, there's not. Most of our competitors, they charge extra for that. For us, it's included in the monthly fee. Sorry, I just had to squeeze one in there. But I wanted to thank everyone for joining. This will be available on YouTube. If you search for Hostaway YouTube, you'll find our channel. Should be there within 24 hours. And hopefully I'll see you again next month. Thank you, everyone.